Hello, welcome back to my craft corner. This is Sarah. Thank you so much for stopping by. So I thought I would do another little show and tell kind of video. And hopefully I'm going to get through this one. I've recorded, this is the second time I've sat down to record today. I recorded all day on making this one. And then, oh my goodness, it's been a hassle. So I'm going to try to get through doing a little, just a show and tell kind of flip thing for you guys. So these are banners, and this is kind of what I've been into doing in the last few little bits here. I know it's been a while since I've made a video, and not that I've not created, but just not had a video. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm hoping that this is gonna work this time, so I'm gonna try to make it as quick as I can. But what I've done is, I'll pull this other one in here too because I didn't have a whole lot of space. But I have these. This one actually is broke. This is the first one that I did, and I'm gonna separate it out because it's got 6 little panel things here, and it goes this way. Here we go, like this, okay? And so here's what it looks like. 1776, I did this for the 4th of July. I just used, a lot of my dyes, my stencils, my embossing, or my textured pastes, my grit paste, my inks, paints, some hardware, some different things. And so, used dyes, of course, so like the what do you call that thing? Oh my gosh, what do you call that? Oh, anyways, whatever this thing is, it'll come to me in a minute. That, and then I did some sewing. I did a lot of like just messy sewing, because that's the only kind I really know how to do. And this is pretty grungy looking, and so I used my I did like the stars and then the stripes like in the back to do kind of, the flag thing. And then the crackle stars here, I used paint, like this blue and this red, those are paints. And then I distressed those up. I stamped on those, inks. So I inked these, the white is also paint. And then I used some of the silver, like cardstock. So yeah, and just made those. And used some little hardware. No heads, used my little hammer thingy. My first time I used it. And so yeah. So it actually, it'll go 1776 and it'll all hang out like this way. But since my space is so small, I kind of just have to work with what I got. So I made this last year and I broke it. I was trying to take it down from my thing and it just broke. But I had, I can fix it. It's no big deal. Just used twine to tie it up with. And then I used, I still had like some extra bits where I had like painted paper and had done some things on that one. And I'm like, okay, well, since I was in the mood, I'm like, oh, let me do another one. So let me get this one kind of laid out here for you. So then I made another one, and I made this one to hang in my little cubicle at work, so that I can enjoy some of my little things at work, since I feel like I'm there more than I'm at home. Rosette. Oh my goodness. Like for the life of me, couldn't think of the word rosette. But I used this set here, right, to make that. Also the little stars, they came in there, so I just made those. And the July 4th with the stars, those are a little die thing that I got from Temu. I really grunged it up, distressed it using that brown, that silver, and that blue. And the white, I think it turned out super cute. My little eyelets, just tied those on with that. Did some more sewing, messy sewing. And so yeah, I thought that turned out really cute. I did a lot of distress with my little slander tool. And so I thought that turned out adorable. I don't think I wrote on this one when I made it. I tried to do that, but I didn't do that on this one. So, but anyways, right. So there's that. It does get a little messy with the strings, but that's okay. And then I skipped. I didn't do, well, I went straight pretty much from the 4th of July to kind of a fall. I did do another fall one. I had one that used like the cats, the dies with the cats on it. The little Tim Holtz cats, and I don't know which one it's called, but my strings are kind of long. I forget what is that called. Anyways, the ones that have the little kitties and the pumpkins that have like the oh, what are they called? My mind is my mind has just went blank today. Blank.
Oh my gosh, I had the lifeline down.
And I do apologize if you hear my husband. He's in the next room playing a video game, and he tends to be a little loud. But anyways, it has they're the colorized, the pumpkins. That one's the colorized. So I had those on that one, but I've sold it, so I don't have it to show. But then I had leftover kind of bits and things that I had been working with, or that I wanted to try, and that I didn't try on yet, like with the pumpkins and with these colors.
That one looks old.
And so these are just from stamps, so mainly stamping. I did use like the grit, I think the translucent like grit paste, and then I just used ink and gesso and things like that over there. The boo letters, those came from Temu. I just layered them up, several of them, glued them together, layered them up, and then I embossed those with just UT, the thick ultra embossing enamel. The leaf dies here are also like from Tim Holtz die set. There's some that I had inked previous that were just in my stash, and so I just pulled those out. And then I just used inking techniques on the backgrounds here with the Scorched Timber, Villainous Potion, I do believe, and then I used probably Spiced Marmalade or a combination of oranges. And then these leaves, these are actually from a big die, and I cut those out, and then I stamped on top of them. I don't know if you can really tell, but I stamped on top of it with one of the stamp sets just to kind of give it that veining. But then I actually went through and then I UT'd it because I wanted them to be kind of pretty thick, which they are. And of course the UT and the heat and all that, it did what it did to the leaves, but they kind of look decayed, don't they? But it's pretty cool looking. So there's my little one that I had hanging in my little office there, and I thought that turned out really cute. And then I did, so I've kind of, as you can tell, I've kind of gotten on a little kick. Now I had this one hanging up in there, and a coworker, he's like, oh, I really like that. He's like, but it was getting, you know, already close to like Christmas time. And he asked me, he said, well, hey, can you do me one for Christmas? And I'm like, well, okay, yeah, sure. And I'm like, what kind do you want? And his little challenge was, he wanted green, white, and silver with elves. And the little banner, it says elf. And because it's small, and, you know, the smaller ones are a little bit easier to make than the really big ones. But I thought, oh, wow, I'm not going to be able to. Well, I didn't think I couldn't be able to do it, but I thought that's a challenge because I'm like, that's only like 3 colors. Well, I got thinking, I'm like, well, dang, I really only used 3 colors in this other one. I mean, really. But it's a little different because to me, orange and, you know, purple, like they're across the little color wheel there, so they contrast. And whereas you have green and green, it's kind of hard, but it worked out. And if I can, I will post maybe a photo and show you what the photo looks like, because I don't actually have it anymore. But it actually turned out really cute. I was very surprised. And I did it mainly, like with these, I did a lot of inks and stuff. And not that I didn't use inks and stuff on that one either, but I did more like paper piecing type deal. So I just took different shades of green cardstocks that I had, and I used those. And then I thought, okay, well, then I wanted to make me another one for work, and I never did get around to making me a Christmas one or a, like, winter-themed one. And so I'm like, well, I want to go ahead and work on Valentine's. So I made one, and I don't have it with me either. It's at work hanging up in my cubicle. But it's 3 little banners like this, and I do believe it's this size. But it has, like, black, and it has more black and pinks and stuff on it. But if I can get a picture of it, I do have a picture. I will put it in as well. But this is what I made today. So I recorded the whole of making this today, and I have no footage. Well, partial footages of it, not enough to really show you anything, or I think even worth my time maybe to even go through. I'm very disappointed because, yeah, it's disheartening. I did that. I spilled a glass of tea all over stuff, and then here I go to record again. This is my second time trying to record this one because it said my storage was full, which is like crazy. I don't understand. But anyways, it's whatever. I went through and I deleted a lot of stuff. So hopefully this one is still going. So it's just been a day today. But I think that this turned out really cute. I was challenging myself on here not to use black or brown, you know, like the dark brown like I had been using, just kind of a neutral kind of thing here. So I used the little love notes. I used that die set, or not die set, stamp set. And I actually, when I was creating the last banner, the Valentine banner that I created, I had actually stamped all of like these things out, and I had made these right here. And I didn't end up using all of them. I did some of these little hearts, but not like mainly just a few. And I ended up going with using this Love Struck. I think it's called Love Struck. It's a big die with the Cupid and then the little heart thing. And these were just extra ones that I kind of had I was playing around with. And so anyways, I ended up going with those. It turned out so cute. I love it, love it, love it. And of course I did some sewing on there as well. The messy sewing because it's the easiest. But that's how this one ended up. These are Tim Holtz. These are the Tim Holtz stamps. They do have dies that come with these. The Simon Says stamps, they do dies. I just hand cut mine because I was too lazy to get up and dig my dies out. But I just hand cut those. Like I said, I've had them. I sat here and I watched a show and I just stamped and cut. And then this little like squiggly line, wavy line, is a border die I got from Temu. And then the XOXO is from Simon Says Stamp. I've had it for a couple of years now. If I can find it, I will link it below as well. And then, of course, all the inks that I used are Distress inks. I used some stencils where I stenciled on the letters because to me that just the white was a little too plain white. But I liked how it turned out. I wish I'd have maybe went with, because this is watercolor paper, and I wished I'd have maybe used the white that I had painted, and it would have looked a little more cohesive, but it's okay. I think it still turned out pretty good. And so I used some distress spritz on here as well, with some archival ink with the stamping. And like the letters, I used that whole stamp set, and I just kind of used the colors that I had already used in the inking part, which was, I used oxides, I used Kitsch Flamingo, Worn Lipstick, and Lumberjack Plaid. A little bit of the Lumberjack, not quite as much. Now this is archival inks that are stamped here, and those are going to be Kitsch Flamingo, Picked Raspberry, and probably Barn Door. Yeah, I think that's Barn Door, or Fired Brick, but I think it's Barn Door. So that one is this. Oh, and then I had these cute little eyelets. I had these cute little eyelets in my stash. I used those on the other one that I had too. This is all I have left. But I had enough for each not enough of the same color for all three, but I just alternated those, and I thought that turned out really cute. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think about it. And then, so this one's very simple because it's not a very, I mean, like these are thick, but some of them I have like layers and layers. Oh, banner dies. These banner dies are actually, I got those from Temu. They are here. And I will link those in the description box below. They make it super easy. So like I made this frame using those. And you know, like that's kind of built up there. But yeah. And then it makes it so much easier. I mean, you can hand cut those. It's not like it's the end of the world if you have to do that. But the die does make it a lot easier. Definitely makes it a lot easier. And then, if I can get my hands to cooperate here, I'm also made, so the coworker that I had, I made him the elf die, or the elf banner, and he's like, hey, I want another one. He says, but I think I want one for, you know, like spring. I want one that I can leave up for a little bit, you know, more time. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we can do that. And so he said spring, mainly green and white and brown. He said brown. So he did have a little brown in the other one as well, but mainly white and green. And I thought, okay, well, how am I going to do this now? And I think it turned out pretty super cute. And I know it's going to be harder because this one actually spells out spring. I'll try to get it around here as best I can. You still can't see that very, very well. So they're gonna have to overlap just a teeny weeny bit. So you can kind of see what I mean. Maybe you can see that pretty good. I hold up each one so you can look at it. And so I kind of done, you know, like I followed the same kind of method, I guess. Recipe, however you want to call it. I did some sewing on this one. And so like here I used, of course, the banner dies, and I used a few different ones here. Painted my paper. I stenciled on it with just, I don't even know like where, this is the Crafters Workshop.com. I don't, wherever that came from, Crafters Workshop. And I've had it in my stash for a while, and I was seeing it and I was like, oh, that would be really great. So I used it, and then I kind of inked over it a little bit with the green. I used Rustic Wilderness, Oxide. I used Shabby Shutters. But I think on this one I ended up using mainly the Rustic Wilderness, pretty much, yeah, except for on maybe some of the greens. And then this little tree die, I got that from Temu as well. And for some reason I was thinking that it was bigger. But anyways, I cut it out a few times, layered it up to make it, you know, look, I kind of offset it a little bit too to kind of make it look a little more dimensional. And then I just inked the back layers with green and brown. And then on the top one, I used a watercolor paper, and I used my Distress crayons. And I did that. And then I inked with the oxides on this one right here, which is the Shabby Shutters. And I'm pretty sure I used Shabby Shutters. It don't hold me to it though. And then I was actually gonna use a different, that piece, I cut out a piece of that, and I don't know. Yeah, here they are. So like this was the center part when I cut out this little frame right here, which came from Temu as well. And this was the center part that cut out. And that's what I used the Shabby Shutters on. And I kind of stenciled on there, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use that. And I didn't, it just wasn't, I wasn't feeling it. So what did I do? Well, when I was inking with my stencil, I had, you know, ink on the stencil, and I sprayed it, and I was like, oh, well, instead of wiping it off, I just stuck it, you know, down on the piece of paper. What do you call that? A kissing technique, however, whatever you do. And I was like, you know, I kind of like that a lot better than I do the other. So that's what I did. I ended up going through and cutting a piece a little bit larger so that it would kind of peek out underneath, and then I put that one down on the top of that. And then I just took another little small piece of paper. I inked it green with the Rustic Wilderness around. And then I have this little die that cuts out like this little rectangular whatever piece. It's stitched around the edge, and I liked it, and I just stamped with some archival Rustic Wilderness on there with a, I'm sure it's a Tim Holtz stamp set. I don't know. It was a one from a Halloween release, but it had like the floral, and it had like that script, and then it had like a milliner. Anyways, it was really pretty, and I used that one a lot. And then I popped the frame up on foam tape, and then for the letters, I used a set from Temu that I had got. I love these letters, and I just punched or cut them out multiple times and stacked them together. And then I just took my well, I actually used ink spray, not the oxides for these. I used Rustic Wilderness, and instead of just spraying them down, I just took a paintbrush and just kind of painted it on so that I can make sure I got all around. And then I coated that, or I embossed it with just a clear embossing glaze, which give it that pretty green. I love that green color. It is so beautiful. I love it. And so that's what that turned out like. And I think it turned out super cute. And then I used, for like these, I used, you know, all of this is kind of the same, but then I have a little Martha Stewart punch here that kind of punches out these little bitty white flowers, because he sent me a picture of kind of what he wanted, and it had mainly trees and green, you know, grassy areas and like a meadow, trees, and then it had some little white flowers, which I thought were cute. So that's where the little flowers came from. And then all of these like leaf dies and the foliage, they are a Tim Holtz one. And so yeah. And then like with the little branch, and then I just took some of the smaller, actually the flowers, you can see how they have the green on there. That was actually where I had stamped off on just a scrap piece of paper, and then when I went to punch them out, I just punched out of that scrap piece of paper, and I didn't even realize it until I was flipping it over, and I was like, you know what, that's kind of cute. I think I'm gonna leave it with that script on there. I think that added a little something extra. For my dots in the center, I just took my I took a peel paint marker, and I just kind of dotted the centers there, because this is for a guy, so you don't want it to be too, you know, I guess floral-y. And I guess guys like flowers, but he wants the feeling of spring, and so you have to let me know, does this feel springy to you? It does to me. I'm actually, I was a little worried that it wasn't going to turn out again, but at the same time, I'm so excited because I actually really love it. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. So pretty much the same, and then I just kind of, you know, did the trees on the end, and then layered up the leaves, and I did Shabby Shutters, Rustic Wilderness, and then this one right here, I believe, is Crushed Olive or Peeled Paint, but I think Crushed Olive in the Distress Inks with a brush, because I painted them. I didn't actually dip them, and then I just kind of did a little bit of brown, and then I did that branch. So yeah. But anyway, so this is for him, and it is ready to go so that he can get to hanging it whenever he gets ready in his workspace. And then yesterday, I actually made this one. The Valentine was the last one, but then I made this one for me to hang up for March in my little area at work as well. And this is what this one looks like. Because since I was working with that green, I had a lot of green stuff. I was like, well, March is coming up, so use that banner die again. Make sure I'm still in frame. Make sure I'm still recording here. Now this one I used if you could see around me, it's a disaster. But I used Curiosity Shop, so the typewriter, the top hat, the mustache, the pointy finger, of course the clover, and then the little sheet here, and then of course I used Lucky Day, and I used this strip of numbers here to stamp on the background, and I just used oxide inks, stamped on that, used some black. Then I had the clovers. They are from that little embossing folder. I don't know if it's still available or not, but if I can find it, I will link it. But I used that, and I just colored me some papers, greens, different color greens, run those through my thing and cut them out. I still have tons over there. I just cut out a bazillion. I also did some gold, and then I just took different pieces and just layered them up. So like I have that frame again, and I really liked that. So I did it lighter to kind of make it pop a little bit more, but I used gold. I popped that up on some foam tape, and then I used this embossing folder with the wood slice, like, you know, wood kind of a background. I used that. I spritzed it with the Pilled Paint Distress Spritz Spray. And then just continued to layer up like another piece of cardstock. This was actually a different color brown, and I wanted it more black because I wanted to add more black. And I inked over, because I didn't want to have to cut them out again, so I just inked over it with my, what is that stuff? VersaFine Clair, because it's what I had sitting on my table, because that's actually what I stamped with on my green back there. And so that's just what I did on it. I just kind of went back around it, but it still kind of has that brown tint. This one has more of a black. I can kind of notice it in the light, but I think it's fine. I do wish I'd kind of went around my letters or something with some gold, or around the little ticket part. I had those already cut out, and I just colored those with my ink, the black ink as well. And then I was taking the Tree Lot mica spray, and I had it out, and I was like, what if I take it and I did some spritz on here as well, but I also did the mica spray. And then I thought, well, what if I take the gold, and I sanded it down before I cut those out, and then I took the mica spray and I just kind of painted it on and kind of gave it a little bit of a green tint to it, so that it kind of toned that gold, because that gold was pretty bright. And then I also embossed, put those in my embossing powder with the clear, and then I sprinkled some of the gold like glitter on there, and I did that. And I think it turned out super cute. This would have been cute to have like the little clovers like hanging down as well. But yeah, I think it turned out super cute. You can say the letters really good, like in person like this. I don't really know how well on camera. Yeah, I think you can tell pretty good that that's an M, an A, and an R, right? For March. Yeah. The pointy finger. He's so cute. Okay, with the little top hat. Now on the top hat and this one, I actually took the mica stain and I used Holly Branch, the lighter color one. I didn't have darker at first, and it just kind of blended in a little bit more. And so I used that because it kind of has that like goldy green kind of tint. But I thought that it turned out super cute. I'm happy with it. So yeah, so that's my banner journey as of now. I was actually going to make another banner for like a March kind of banner, or with the 4-leaf clovers, because I have them. And I was going to do it kind of like I did the Valentine one, where it has more, you know, like white in it and less browns and blacks. But at this point, I don't know if I'm going to make it to get it done. I might still. We might do that one like on camera. And then I'm excited because the next one I'm probably going to do. What did I do with that guy? Where did he go? There he is. I was playing around because I also have this stencil. Because what I'm trying to do is use my stuff, is use my supplies, is use my stamps and my dies and all this stuff. I have all these things, and I mean, why have them if you're not going to use them? I mean, I know it's fun to collect stuff, but if it's just sitting there and we're not using it, then like, what's the point, right? You can still collect it and use it. So I want to use this guy. He's so cute. So I was just playing around with him, and I colored him, and he's kind of got a little where I cut him out. Now I have the dies for this, but they do leave a slight, either that or I had it off kind of bad, but I did fussy cut through those whiskers there. One of them got whacked off in there, but you would never know otherwise. I glossy accented his little eye, popped up his little bow tie. He's just so dapper and he's cute. I love him. So I want to do something with him and add, you know, do a little more color with those colors there. So maybe that'll be the next one. And then also, I also have some summer ones that I'm going to be doing for the same coworker. He loves my banners, so thanks. And he wants one for summer as well, but it's going to be a long one, and it's actually going to say summer. So, but I have so many like summer dies with palm trees and pineapples and flamingos and seashells and waves and all kinds of stuff like that. Umbrella, you know, like just all kinds of things. So that's going to be exciting. And of course I will have to do one for myself. Him, I'm not really sure if he's going to try to limit me to colors on it. I do know he wants an umbrella, and I think I have a lawn chair die, I think, and an umbrella with the red and white, you know, umbrella. So I think that's already giving me ideas, which is going to be super cute. So I'm excited about it. But if you want to see, I think maybe next, because summer is still a ways away, so I still have a bit of time to get those kind of start planning. And hopefully when I go to record, I'm going to do a little bit better planning, because this did get to be a bit long, and I feel like that's why it didn't work out quite as right, because the videos were just too long. And so I'm going to try to maybe decide on what I'm going to do, and then have kind of a lot of my things like maybe together, and then just show you how I put those together. I mean, because you can color, you know, you can ink and you can stamp. That's not no big, that's really an easy thing once you get going on it. And like with this, you know, really what inspired me to do this was that color green, because when I did that one for him with that color green, I was like, oh, and I love green, and I'm like, that is like the perfect like shamrock green, and I'm like, I want to use that. I really wish I'd had like a pot of gold that I could have put on here, but I don't have the pot.
I would like some pot of gold.
I don't think. I looked through my stuff and I couldn't find one. I thought I had like a die with a pot or something like that, even in, you know, like Halloween stuff or anything. I don't have one. So I probably could have drew one or made one, but I was like, well, I'll go ahead and I'll use the pointy finger, because I wanted to use those stamps as well. But anyways, so for, I guess, April, and for like what it says, like this one, I did 3. 3, that's just a perfect number for me. Of course, the other ones I'm getting, you know, I'm getting paid for those, so that's a little different as well. So I can add as many as they want, and then I just charge so much per like panel. And so I think that's a pretty good way of doing it. What do you want? What do you want? Just come make the circle. Okay. And then, so yeah, I've got so many different ideas I want to do, and not just with banners. I wished I had, I started a calendar, and I'm just going to talk about it here really quick while I'm on here, because maybe I'm still recording, and I know this is getting to be a bit long, but not as long as it was earlier today, I'll tell you that much. because I'm wanting to do more like using my dyes and things more, and I find that when it comes to this kind of thing, I use them more than like I do in a mini album or something like that. And so, and not that I've given up on mini albums, don't get me wrong, I haven't, but sometimes they just take up more time, and I find myself getting really, no sir, you can't have that. I find myself getting really like burnt out, and I'll be into it, and then I start making it, and then I lose interest in it, like just like that. And I hate that. I used to not be that way. I don't know if it's just, I don't know. Change. I'm older. I don't know. Just different things going on. But I want to get more into maybe kind of art journaling and that type of thing. Things that you can kind of do step by step. And this is kind of like that, like a mixed media type thing, because you are using different mediums, on here. And so I really like that. And what I've done is because, well, I need a calendar at work and here at home as well. And I actually do. I may do that next before I do the next banner, because we still got a little bit for that. But and I don't have it with me because I've already taken it to work. I bought these little calendars from the Dollar Tree. They came with a bigger calendar. So like for $1.50, I think is what they are. $1.25, $1.50, something like that. And they're pretty. They have beautiful pictures. They do. But I was like, well, I want a calendar at work. But I want it to be, I want it to show, that's so pretty. I want it to show, I want to show my art. I want to look at my art. I want to be able to see my art. And so what I did was I've been making like panels and then sticking them here so that it goes with the month. So like I did one with using my dyes and my inks and stuff like that, and that's what I did. And then I did one for Valentine's as well. And then I will continue to go on. So probably the next one that I'm gonna do is gonna be for March. And since I already have some of these elements, things cut out, that's what I'm gonna use. So I think I will go, I'm gonna go like through that with you guys, and I'll show you how I did that.
Okay.
So yeah, so just keep an eye out for that. Maybe that's something that you're interested in. The calendar, I mean, they're pretty cheap. I'm pretty sure you can get them probably anywhere. And then of course maybe, I don't know, this guy, he might make an appearance on one of those too, because he's so cute. So yeah. Okay, well, that is all I've got for you. I know I've rambled enough, I'm sure. And I hope you like these. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Click that notification bell. You'll be notified when I do upload videos. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.